I don't know how I got here, but I know I don't belong. Everything feels the same, including me, but it's like trying to push together matching poles of a magnet. Every time I try to reconnect, to reslot into my life, something is just wrong enough to shut me back out. I want my life back. I want whatever happened to me to stop so I can go back to my friends, my house, hell, even my job. I had to steal a phone just to type this out, since mine won't connect to any Wi-Fi and isn't getting any signal. I guess I should tell you what led to this, and hope someone has experienced something similar and can help me out. It had begun so innocently. I walked through the wrong door on my way to dinner. It was one of those downtown places, the ones that try to keep all the decaying brickwork and tend to eschew signs. The moment I touched the jet black door, something felt off, but I couldn't quite place it. It opened into a dimly lit corridor, a slight buzzing that I mistook at the time for faulty fluorescent bulbs. Looking back on it, I don't even remember there being any lights in the corridor. Just the gray walls with matching black door on the other end. I hurried down the corridor, more to escape the noise than any impetus towards my dinner plans. It was early. A couple friends were meeting up at a new place, and I wanted to make sure I didn't get lost. Kind of funny in hindsight. I reached the black door and pushed it open, stepping through quickly to the other side. Something wasn't right. I was back on the street, looking up and down the way. I was back exactly where I'd left. Did I somehow get turned around in that short hallway? It made no sense. I turned to step back through the doorway only to stare at a blank expanse of wall. What the hell? I shook my head, thinking maybe it had been a longer day at work than I thought. I continued on down the street until I reached another door. This one was blue. I could hear the sound of people inside, and on opening the door, recognized the sign above the bar as my dinner destination. Putting the strangeness from the last few minutes aside, I found an empty table and sat down to wait for my friends. And the first inkling I had that anything was off was the group across from me. There were 3 of them, 2 men with their backs to me and a woman facing in my general direction. The woman's eyes glanced at me for a moment, sliding across my face to turn back to her friends. I saw her start, and her eyes snapped back to me. I looked her askance, but the longer she looked at me, the more uneasy she seemed. Her companions noticed after a few moments and turned to look at whatever had caught her eye. Both looked at me. The same uneasy look began to replace their confusion. One of the men seemed to hesitate, then stood up and crossed over to me. "You need to leave." I was completely taken aback. I had been in a couple of altercations at a bar before, over a spilled drink or hitting on someone there with a date, but nothing that hostile that quickly. "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Were you saving this table or something? I didn't see a reservation." The moment I began speaking, his eyes went wide, and I could feel the eyes of the rest of the bar turn to me. A quick look around the restaurant showed the same look spreading around the room. What the hell? I had no idea what was going on, but I knew I had to get out of there now. I stood up and made a beeline for the door, doing my best to keep my eyes down. Once outside, I let out a breath of relief and tried to run through the last few minutes in my mind. Was it a private event? And I barged in on a wake or some other solemn event? I couldn't place anything to indicate that, but I also couldn't make sense of anything that was happening at the time, so I was willing to run with it. I pulled out my cell to shoot a message on the group chain asking to meet at a different restaurant. Each message I tried to send was met with the exclamation mark of a failed message. However, I was beginning to panic. I didn't understand. I began jogging back to my car. If I could just get home, get settled in, I would be alright. Go to sleep, wake up, and let this be a nightmare. Got to my car, pressing the knob to unlock the doors. No lights. License plate was mine, but no lights. Maybe the battery died? I was running out of hope that anything had a rational explanation. The key slid in the door. I felt a moment of relief. It was quickly shattered, however, when the key refused to turn. No, this can't be happening. I slammed a fist into the top of the car, drawing the attention of a couple passerbys. Immediately, their postures became hostile. Hey, get away from that car. What do you think you're doing? I considered explaining myself that the car was mine and the key wasn't working, that my name was on the registration and I could prove it. But too much was happening, though. I didn't trust anyone to listen to me. Not with the way everyone I had seen was reacting to me. Instead, I turned and ran. I'm taking a break here. I broke into a house to get some food and a shower, but I'm not willing to stick around to explain myself when they get home from work. I'm hoping you have enough here to go on, and that it matches up with something someone else has experienced, and I can get some advice. If not, I can try to post more, fill in some holes. Please, I just want to go home.